Hi everyone. Hello, hello. I'm a little bit early on my live stream today by like 1 minute. I'm going to take a moment and share this live stream into my group. If you are popping on or watching the replay, please say replay in the comments. If you are popping on, please say hello. I'm going to share this into my group so they can see this as well. From $200 package session that I sold only one of, to now selling 5K packages and above solely. Of course, I sell lower end packages too, but today I'm going to talk about the shift and the shifts that needed to happen to start selling high ticket offers. Because a lot of people want to do it. It's like the cool thing to do. And I'm sure you're frustrated and you're like, what is wrong with me? I need to do more affirmations and I need to go seek another healer and hire another, like really, really high priced, high ticket coach in order for me to get there. And well, some of them are true, some of them are not. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on all of these. To 5K and above packages. All right. So if you are popping on, please say hey. If you're new to me, nice to meet you. My name is Marina. I'm a spiritual business strategist. I come up with intuitive solutions, intuitive marketing approaches for business owners that are mostly service-based. And one of the things that I'm really good at is picking out the sales prowess, the sales genius of my clients to show them where and when are they the most magnetic to sales. And this is something I've done with one of my clients recently who has gone from 2 leads per week to 10 leads per week on average within the last 3 weeks. And we've only worked together for about 2 months. So, and I do this in a variety of ways. Some of it is strategic, some of this is intuitive. I combine energetic aspects and strategic implementation, all aspects of my work. And I don't niche. This is another thing that's interesting for a lot of strategists and business coaches, etc., is this obsession with niching. And I don't niche, the reason being because every single individual has a very unique way in which they sell, in which they market, and that's what I do for my clients, is I help them find their own unique marketing approach in their own unique sales approach to make sure that they're magnetic and they're able to go from $200 sessions to $5,000 programs. How the hell did this happen? How in the hell did this happen, right? So, okay, let me start off with some of the symptoms and some of the pains that perhaps you're feeling right now, because right now you're just like, perhaps you have clients that constantly, or prospects rather, that constantly tell you, hey, I can't afford your service. Perhaps you have, Perhaps you have prospects who constantly treat you like you owe them something. Perhaps you have prospects that tell you things like, oh, your rates are too high, but I love you, and they become like your biggest fans. But they don't ever actually buy from you. They just view you as really cool, and they just adore you and whatever, but they don't actually really buy from you because perhaps they don't see your value. Perhaps you have prospects who constantly give you every single objection or take forever to buy or have no sense of urgency as to buying from you and give you a million objections on sales calls. Perhaps you have talked to them up and down and they're still saying, well, I can't afford it. So then here you are sitting thinking, you're like, how the hell do I go from selling 1 hour sessions to $5,000 packages and above? And this is something that happened to me. I only had one $200 session and I was like, fuck this. And then the next sale that I ever had was a $5,000 package. I was just like, nope, not doing the $200 thing anymore. And here's the other thing that you guys need to understand about selling high ticket offers. It's not just about raising the price of your services. It's about raising its value. And in order to do that, takes a lot of shifts that I'm going to go into a little bit later. For those of you that are saying hi and that are new to me, or for those of you that are popping on that are new to me, please say hi. I'm somewhat dyslexic today. And so what happens whenever you get told, by coaches, oh, you need to start selling high ticket, you need to raise your prices. Usually what most people think is like, oh, well, how the hell can I justify this? Like, why is this even like, and you start to think like, well, am I even worthy of doing so? Like, how can I sit in front of this person and charge them this price? And then, of course, it sends you down into the spiral of like, I feel like I need more healing because my self-worth is apparently not there. I feel like I need to do more affirmations. Maybe that will help to tell me that I can raise my prices and that I can sell 5, 6, 7, 10K packages. Maybe I need to do more healing of my money blocks, right? Because I can't receive money, and maybe that's why people are not buying this offer that I have. Maybe I need to go hire a super expensive business coach to show me how to do this, which I am all for investing, but you have to be discerning as to who you hire, because most coaches, unlike me, give you strategies that have worked for them and only teach you sales and marketing. They do not teach you the value of your own work and why you should actually raise your prices and convince your brain, body, mind, and soul as to why that's actually worth $10,000, right? And so this is where most coaches falter, is they teach you how to sell on a very emotional basis. They teach you how to strategize in ways that has worked for them, but perhaps will not work for you. To those of you that are popping on, say hey. And if you're new to me and what I do, feel free to ask me questions. Feel free to pause me at any point in time. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. So like I said, most coaches teach you, oh, you just need to raise your confidence and your self-worth and go ahead and journal about how you're deserving of selling your 5 or 10K packages or whatever. And most coaches also, like I said, only teach you sales and marketing techniques that have worked for them but are not unique to you. And here's what also happens is most of you who are wanting to raise your prices probably also have no idea what it is that you do for your clients and how, because you need to be able to justify that price tag to be sure that you can be on the sales call confidently and ask for that price tag and know exactly what kind of results clients get. So what needs to happen in order for you to get here, right? What needs to happen? And no, you don't need to heal more money blocks. No, you don't need to chase another strategy or go on another platform. No, you don't need to go on LinkedIn and target a whole new audience. Here's the biggest shift that needs to happen. From raising your prices, you need to raise your value. And I'll go into this in just a second. You need to position yourself to be perceived as valuable rather than everybody's best friend. Because right now, a lot of you who have sold before and who have experienced these kinds of pains and who have experienced, prospects and clients that are your best friend and love everything that you put out, but they still don't see the reason of like, why should I actually invest with you? And why should, more than anything, invest at like a high 4-figure or 5-figure fee? So the first thing that needs to happen is a deep dive into your own work. And this is something that's really, difficult to do alone. But what needs to happen is you need to be so clear on every single step in your offer, phase by phase by phase, by week by week by week, by session by session by session, and know your client so well that you're going to be able to meet them every week with every single challenge that they will have and know exactly how to guide them through it. You need to know exactly what is it that your clients are thinking that they're needing right now. To those of you that are popping on, please say hi. There's a lot of new people on my personal page, and I want to get to know you. I don't like talking to myself, so please say hello. So like I said, the first thing that needs to happen is a deep dive into your own work. And by that I mean every single phase needs to be really clear for you as to why exactly this phase belongs in a 10K package. What is this specific step doing to bring the client that ROI of 2 times, 3 times, or more of the price of your package? Or say, for instance, if you're not in a financial ROI industry, you need to know exactly how each phase is bringing this client an ROI. You also need to know, why is it unique for you? Because yes, there are a lot of people that do this. There's a lot of people that perhaps do what you do. There's a lot of people that do the same kinds of exercises that you do. But what needs to happen here at this phase, whenever you do this kind of a deep dive, is you need to know what makes you, your emotions, your energy, your approach, completely outstanding. What is it that nobody else can do during each phase of this process? And this is, like I said, something that's really difficult to do by yourself. And one of the things that, hey, Jenna, hi, Mark, hi, Kelly, hi, Christine, hi, Ashley. Please say hi so that I can greet you back. Because like I said, I don't like talking to myself. Tell me where you're watching from. So as you're doing this deep dive into your work, what needs to happen here is a very intricate tweaking of your offer, meaning you have to know your client's every single fetish, every single tick, every single piece and point of resistance. You need to know their personality and how they will respond to certain aspects of coaching, and you need to know exactly how or why you are the person to guide them through it. And like I said, this is something that's difficult to do all by yourself. This is something that is reflective. Like for me personally, I have tried to figure this out for 2 years before I finally had several mentors reflect to me exactly what is so different in my energetic and in my emotional and in my process signature that no other people do. So as you're tweaking, like I said, you need to know very intimately every single fetish, every single tick that this client may have and what kind of chronological process they may go through. So say if you're creating your offer and you place a certain exercise or a certain thing in phase 1, in week 1, in session 1, you're like, this is the first thing I'm going to do with them. Sweet. You have to be one step ahead of them because you have to know them so well. You have to know, like, well, what is the potential response to this first session? What are they going to have? And you need to know exactly how to greet that. Are they going to have resistance at this point? Are they going to throw a fit? What kind of personality are they? Are they going to need you to strategize this out for them? Are they going to need an intuitive healing after the first session? You need to know this step by step by step, and you need to know how to meet them at every single point. And like I said, this is really not easy. Offer creation is not easy to do on your own. But most people, this is the part that they skip whenever it comes to jumping to a high-end package. They're like, yeah, raise your prices and heal more and heal your money blocks and you're worthy of it and you're deserving of it, blah, blah, blah. And your logical mind is just like, what the fuck? There's no way in hell I'm going to sit in front of this person and charge them $10K for my package, because it needs to know and it needs to understand, and you want to be in integrity, and you want to know that whatever you're charging actually packs a high value. And you need to know, like I said, this deep dive into your own work, you need to know this on such a holographic level, and this is something, like I said, that's really difficult to do by yourself, by the way. You need to know on such a holographic level how every word and every single placement of every single session in this 10K offer or 5K offer or whatever is what it's going to do to your client and how they're going to respond to it and how exactly you do it differently than anybody else. And like I said, yet again, this is something that's really hard to do, is to know your own prowess and to know your own marketing prowess and to know your own sales prowess, which is why personally, like I said before earlier in the video, I don't niche whenever it comes to educating these kinds of things for people, because no two marketing approaches are the same for any single person. For instance, I have clients who are in a horticulture business, and the kind of strategists that I come up for them are more public speaking and live events and more educational events. And then I have clients who are writers and love Instagram. So then we leverage that. So this brings me to my next point. The next tweak and the shift that needs to happen is your messaging and your positioning. The way you position yourself means everything. Because right now, if you're getting a lot of like PMs, if you're getting a lot of engagements of like, oh, I really loved your post, but you know, they're coming up with money objections, they don't see your value right now. They don't see why you are unique. They don't see why is it that they should invest with you. They don't see that you have the solution to their problem. They don't see that you are actually the person to go to solve their problem. They don't see that right now. And right now, which is why you're getting a lot of people who are like, oh, I can't afford you, is because they're not sure why exactly they should invest 5, 6, 7K with you. They have no idea. You haven't shown them the process by which you're going to solve their problem. You haven't shown them and you haven't understood them well. Because the other thing, you guys, is people want to be seen for who they are. People need and want to be seen in their uniqueness. And like I said, this is something that I do with my clients all the time. It's just, I don't come up with the same strategy for each one of my clients. I don't have the same process for each one of my clients because each one of my clients moves through it differently. So I actually come up with custom proposals for my higher end packages for each individual client because it is so custom tailored. And that is what a high end offer is, you guys. The higher the price, the more custom and intimate it actually is. So the way to tweak your messaging to be perceived as valuable is to show how exactly you are the most unique person that can solve this person's problem. Okay. And yet again, this is something that's really difficult to do because a lot of people, their natural state of being, the natural things that they're really good at, a lot of times it's really hard to see. And for me personally, I've been told oh, you're brilliant and blah, blah, blah. And I've been trying to figure it out myself, no matter how much I reverse engineered, no matter how much I wrote and journaled about the things that I'm good at or why I'm awesome. There's no way in hell that this actually worked until it was reflected back to me. And like I said, this is something that I do really well with my clients. This is exactly what makes you salesy. This is exactly what makes you magnetic. And these are the kinds of marketing things that you should be doing. And this is how. And that's what I walk through with my clients in my one-on-one packages as we actually craft custom pitches for each and every single person that reaches out to them in their inbox, because there's always a yes in every reach out. So the following is, no, you don't need to change your strategy to go after people with money. Because if you have done all of the above that I have already described, there are people within your audience that have loved you and have loved you and have loved you and that have just been waiting and waiting and waiting for that magic moment of oh my God, now I get why I need to buy from her. Oh my God, now she finally stepped it up, so I feel like I need to step it up and pay her, right? So a lot of people here think this is an energy change. It's an energy shift of all of a sudden you being oh, I own my shit and I'm the queen bee. Yes, and it has to be done in conjunction with everything else. It has to be done in conjunction with your own understanding, with your own grounded confidence. And what I mean by that is not only when you're meditating, is what you're doing and who you are being in every single day and activity in your business. How do you handle your client calls? How do you handle your prospect calls? What kinds of things are non-negotiable for you? How do you value yourself? How do you value your time? And the more you start to shift that on the inside, and with your daily actions, not just affirmations, meditations, and energy healing, but with your daily actions, by exerting certain standards and boundaries, by saying no to certain prospects, which I have done, by the way. I don't just work with anybody. That is how that happens, and that is how that confidence happens, and that is how you have the ability to sell a low or high 4-figure or a 5-figure offer. Okay, so being perceived in your point of difference, what is it that makes you different? Why is it that you're so special? Say, for instance, if you are able to see people's ancestors and channel guidance from them, you can absolutely put that into your offer and show exactly how that's going to have an ROI for your client. Okay? Does this make sense? For whoever's watching the replay, let me know if you have any questions. But what I mean by this, say for instance, on my end, something that I do really uniquely is I come up with unique marketing strategies and I come up with unique sales personalities. I create this kind of sales avatar for my clients of what is it that makes them magnetic. And then we recreate those environments to place them into that, to place them into this ideal magnetic sales environment. And that is something unique to me. And this is something that I would have never figured out without my mentors, without my coaches. I'm sitting by the fire here because it's really cold. So I'm sitting on the floor doing this live stream. So as I was mentioning, in your daily actions of what is it that you accept and what is it that you don't accept for your prospects, for your clients, for your client calls, sales calls, etc. But also, most people think okay, so in order to sell high ticket, I need to go after people with money. And here is where this is kind of a mistake, right? So one of my clients, she went from making $19 per hour right? And I have a mid 4-figure package for my one-on-one right now. And she still invested and she still renewed, and now we have her selling 4-figure packages as well, and creating 4-figure months. So having said that, you guys, like, it doesn't matter if these people have money, if they know that you have something it is that they need. If they know that, if they see it, if you're able to communicate it, and if you're able to package it up and sell it, that is how you sell a 4 or a 5-figure offer. No, it doesn't necessarily come from doing more affirmations. No, it doesn't necessarily come from, seeking another healer or healing your money blocks, etc. But it has to come from a grounded confidence into what you're offering. Why is it that you're different? Why is nobody else more amazing than you are? And you have to know that yourself, and you have to see that in action. And the only way to do that is in relation to other people, which is why I said this is something that's actually really difficult to do yourself. And this is something that I do with my clients all the time. So if this is something, and I know you need this, if you are a service-based provider who are selling maybe like $1,000 or $1,500 packages or less, and perhaps even like done for you type packages, and you want to shift to high end, these kinds of tweaks and shifts are very intricate, and they're very different from person to person to person. So for instance, whatever it means to shift your messaging for one person may not be the same for the next. Whenever it means to tweak your offer and do a deep dive into your work for one person may not mean the same for the next. The kinds of tweaks that you need are highly custom. And in order to figure that out, you need to talk to somebody who can see that. I am going to put an invitation into Monday Knows the Work. There we go. I'm going to put my call link. And if it's something you want to figure out of what is it that makes you unique, what is your sales personality, what is your sales prowess, if you will, and how it is that you specifically sell, go ahead and book that call. And I will tell you, because I'm able to see it pretty much right away, of how you sell what you sell. And I'm able to see these kinds of symptoms of why is it that people don't perceive you as valuable, and be able to fix that and tweak that right away. So that way you could get selling right away. You could raise your prices with confidence. And you can start without having to target necessarily different people, but targeting them differently. And that's what I have to say about that. If any of you have any questions about anything that I've talked to you guys so far, please feel free to pop them in the comments. Go ahead and PM me if you have any questions as well. And I will talk to all you soon. Cheers.